everyone, you're watching Forex, and in this video I'm going to make technical analysis for the coming week. We will look at main pairs, important levels, and possible entry points. So let's have a look actually what happened. We'll look at some trades we did this week. You know that now I'm making my screenshots, and if you want to receive daily screenshots, my technical analysis, like with possible entry points, so it's like signals, but I don't like call them signals because I'm giving you ideas where possibly to place the trades, and with my setups, but also with stops and take profits. But you can change it yourself a little bit, and this is only part-time trading, so this is not trading all day long watching the screen. And so this week the result we had, saying minimum, like I'm saying, for example, if it would be exactly with my setups, it would be at least minimum 160 plus pips in profit, which is in points it's what 1060 something, but I'm talking in pips, okay? So 160 pips. So plus we have some, I have open trade floating. Also there is another one, possibly could have been a losing trade or floating trade, so it is in a recovery right now, which would have been like -60. So in overall, if it would have been a losing trade, the minimum possible profit would have been 100 pips at least, okay? So like I'm saying, it's pretty much minimum. So the market is a little bit tough because we do have uncertainty. Even though we have a lot of pairs went to the point where we were expecting corrections, recoveries, which started, and some of them, but also with all the things happening, like America with the trade war with China, unexpected movements because of that, and of course Brexit, right, is in the air again. It's very important with the news coming out, also had some unexpected moves. So now we also have European Union election, which the results should be on Sunday, so that also can affect opening of the market and have some jumps. So could possibly be gaps or anything. So I'm talking about euro dollar now, okay? So we're going into that. So like if you want to receive my daily screenshots, you can join now. It's through Patreon. patreon.com/JanaFX. Okay, so you can find the link in the description of this video. So now let's have a look euro dollar. So what we had, like, as you can see, that's what I was telling you. We had the area in here, and we were selling, right? And also buying. I was buying it here, and I come out with a very small profit today. I closed it because like it's going to be election. That's why I'm not sure if it might have jump. Who knows? It might continue the way up, jump up. It also can jump down. So that's why I decided to close the positions today and see what's going to happen. So that's what you see with euro dollar. That's a little bit of, you see it was consolidating, had jump up and jump down. It's always inside the area where I had my levels, and finally it broke and then went up. So now obviously, of course, I would have expected a possible continuation of the movements, because now it's trying to get back and in the same possible area in here. So I wouldn't go for any trade like at that point, because it was the entry point right here, and so that's why now I would just see if it will go in this area, and then what is going to do here, okay? Like waiting, remember, for my usual things, the consolidations, okay? Or any types of operations, channels, the best I like, and also patterns. So from that we will see a possible continuation with breakout, or of course it can turn around and go back again to the same area. So that's pretty much it. So we will see, and also we will look daily with our members. So now going to pound dollar, and also the same thing when we were here. I was telling you that obviously everybody expecting a correction, right? So we had a huge drop and not a very good correction. So that's why I said, obviously, once again, that's what happens with the market. You don't need to be professional and see things, indicators or anything else to understand that yes, everybody is just waiting for it. But because of all of these things in the air with Brexit, we can expect anything. And of course, pretty much with uncertainty, the first thing is will continue downtrend, right? But the correction is still needed. So that's why we had a jump, which was based on some unexpected news with Brexit, and Theresa May is resigning now. And so, but because we already know that she's going to resign, and it's going to happen sometime in the beginning of June, like 7th of June they said. So of course possibly pound will try to do some recovery finally, except maybe I would say possibly the final recovery would be after actually they will choose a new prime minister. So before that, it might be again some unexpected movements, and maybe in this area this week, maybe we will jump up and down again, and something consolidate before actually it will start fully recovering. Okay, so possibly, but like I'm saying, doesn't matter. For example, even this week was a bit tough. We had important levels, so I was like selling from here, which I was telling about, like, yes, we were selling, and then we had used the same area and had consolidation around here today, and we were buying again, going for the small profits, like I was saying, about plus 10 closing half positions, and the rest of it running either by trailing stop when I'm using my EA, or moving the stop behind, so you could move in a zero with the only if it turns around, you only walk away with 10 pips profit, or you can move a little bit further if you think it will continue the way, and if it will turn around, you will cover what you made loss, and the cover what you made, it would walk away with zero, so it would be nothing to lose. So that's kind of pretty much like I'm saying, with these different ways of using the stop and take profits, and we don't care which way the market would go with my particular way of going to the trades, as long as it moves enough, at least 30 plus pips, like 35, because we have a spread. I need a move which I'm usually collecting at least 10 pips. Okay, so that's why now I would be waiting for possible entry points. Of course, we will see in here in this area. I have a little bit of a trend channel in here, and see if maybe market will go into this area first and start to a little bit of consolidation, and of course using placing orders buy, and again placing orders sell. Who knows, maybe it will just decided to go up and some consolidation at the top of it. But this is the area to look first here this week. And of course, like I'm saying, it might end up giving us a double bottom. It might have a triangle or anything else, maybe before the exact news with the from the parliament. Of course, it might have a good correction, but we will still see and find an entry point before any of the other movements are going to happen. So, but this moment, that's the picture for me with pound dollar. Australian dollar this week for me was pretty much no trade, but I was pointing out we had a gap, and it started to consolidate like on Monday, and I was given the notes that possibly it will be trying to cover the gap. Okay, and this is exactly what it did. Then we had a consolidation. I had my orders placed, but because the movements like on Thursday were very slow, I canceled it. But you can see it was possible just to keep this and keep the orders, and the market, you see, moved up where I was pointing out. I was waiting to move it in this area, had a small area, now it's jumped a little bit up, and I'm creating here a bit of the channel based on these previous areas. It's been here already, so this is the first area to look now into this coming week, starting from here. And of course it might continue inside with these levels, so it might go down, or at the same time, of course, it can turn around finally and started to have a bit of a correction, right? Because we had a drop again. Like I'm saying, we do expect and we'll wait for something, but market can do whatever it wants. That's why with my way of trading, I'm just looking for possible entry points, and I'm only going for small pips, but which can increase. Okay, so I'm looking for at least minimum 10 pips profit, and of course it can increase. Also, you can see in the daily chart it kind of looks like a double bottom, so that's why it's a little bit indicating that it's possible it can have a recovery. And obviously, if the trade wars with China and dollar will be in the air, which will be, and more comments, you have to follow politics and this financial economics, all this news, obviously dollar will be a little bit weaker, right? So we will see possible recoveries on this pairs. So that's what I will be looking at this point, possible here starting in this area, and then of course if it will go up, then we can use Fibonacci levels and see where it's going to possibly go. So obviously somewhere around here it would be something like 60 maybe level. So I don't want to draw it because obviously we do have a little bit of channel here, but the first look in a possible entry point will be starting from here. Of course if it will go down, then we will see if it will sit in here again, and maybe continue to the next level down here. But this moment we are still right here. So now going to dollar yen, and so I have 4-hour chart. Let's go on 1-hour chart, and that's what I was telling you. Because we had a gap, right? So the expectation was that the pair should close that gap, and that's what I was telling you. I was waiting also for a correction. Previous week it dropped a bit and started to correct quite nicely previous week, but it didn't give me exactly entry points, and that's why I was waiting for some entry points this week. And if you were in members, you saw me showing you here. I saw exactly what I was telling you, that I see possible here we will turn around before we will try to cover the gap, because we also had a little bit of run and expected finally a little bit of correction once again before it will try to do so, because yen pairs, they do like to create patterns and gaps and everything else, and close and work with patterns quite well and close the gaps also. But it might not happen straight away. I told you it's not always immediately. So that's why here I also had my pending orders. I was even making some videos, you saw it, but because it didn't move fast enough, and the way I traded, I canceled my orders. But if you would have carried on, so you could have catch all that movement. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm giving you the ideas, and the possibilities could be much bigger than what we minimum for me, like 100 pips, right? So it could be 160, could be 200, even further. So because quite important, the entry points. Okay, and the way you trade, like I'm saying, for me it's a part-time. I don't trade all day. If I would be sitting and trading all day long and watching the market all day long, of course I would have go for so many trades. But this is the only, you can see that's the minimum, with the very small involvement in this, because I place my orders, I have chance, I check my trades. If I don't, because I'm walking away, I'm doing the other things, and I'm busy with other stuff, and this is not my full time. And that's what I'm giving you in my charts also, what I see, and then you can apply it for a full time if you need to. Okay, so but you can see the results. That's what I'm saying. It's all open. You can see previously I have been doing it for so long, and so that's what I had in place. I had one trade here, which also I pointed out. Okay, so got this movement, and now I'm in a trade again. So from this point of view, what I'm going to tell you, remember I was actually warning you that this could have ended up as a flag of the movement down, or it could have ended up as a possible double bottom. So at this moment, as you can see, as a flag, it's broke. So that's why I had one trade, and now I'm in another trade. So possibly it will have it will give me a double bottom. Who knows? Maybe it will move a little bit further away. So at this moment, it is in a trade, and all I do for the new entry points now, I just need to wait. Okay, so you have to wait for now. I'm not going to close it because obviously expectation with euro jumps, it will not apply for dollar yen. So yeah, I mean, it could be some jumps, but I don't see it at this point. So I'm going to leave my trade for next week. So we'll see the opening, okay, of the week. But right now it's in, and so let's say if it will continue the way, when we will see where it's going to stop at the same area, maybe go down a little bit. I have here levels. If it will turn around, of course, then we will see it will go back to this level, start to have a correction, consolidation, or somewhere in the middle. We will see later, but at this moment, that's the picture. Of course, at some point it will try to cover it, and we will try to get into the possible trade. Okay, so now we're going to dollar CAD. Dollar CAD is the same picture as it was for weeks now, guys. It's been so long, up and down, up and down. We're in a consolidation, very wide, huge channel, and the same. I was giving the ideas exactly the same as previously. Consolidation at any of these levels and placing the orders. So here we had a small trade on this part, and you see, didn't have consolidation around here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Of course, it was possible. For example, you see buy, sell, buy, sell, buy again, right? Of course, here you wouldn't go. It was here, but you see what happens. You sell here, but then it jumps out. So if you placing your stops very close, it picks up your stops, and you're in a losing trade. So that's why I usually like to just wait for some of those consolidations, break down a little bit further or break up a bit further, and then place new orders. So it's all different ways of trading. There is also a way of trading without the stops, but this is only applied for very big accounts. And I would like to talk about it maybe, about trading without the stops and how to use martingale. Well, you can check it out actually on internet to see how it works. Like martingale here probably would work much better without the stops to trade when you have such big consolidations. But you never know, right, when the consolidation can happen. So you see here, if you would buy and place your stop, you would have catch that drop down. You see, that's what happening. The market does this breakouts to pick up all of these people who were trying to buy from here, you see, and then it's sharply turned around, and then everybody were trying to jump in. It moved, didn't consolidate here, moved up. I was telling about consolidation here, it didn't. It had a little bit below and then just continued way down. So now I see exactly the same picture, so I don't see anything changing at this point. What I see again, so if it's consolidate here, it might go down, but I was warning in here. You see, sometimes it just stops right in the middle. It doesn't continue the way down here and turns around. So like I'm saying, is nobody will ever tell you what's going to happen now, because nobody knows what's going to happen. If it will continue up, or will it continue, or will it go down? Because we are accumulating enough energy to go for both ways, okay? Both ways. That's why placing the orders both directions works. But you need to decide if you want to place the stop or you don't. So, of course, in the picture, we do have a bit of uptrend, right? So, of course, the more it would be towards actually continue the uptrend. But I have a little bit of here, you see, that's why I'm showing you daily chart, a little bit of tendency of showing the downtrend at the same time, because we do have a little bit the tops, right, going down. Pretty much, and the bottoms now, you see that wing broke down a little bit further, and so it kind of has a little bit of signs of possible showing that it might go actually down, which is pretty much logical in here, because if we even are in an uptrend channel and we are in a correction movement, right, of going down to the next point somewhere in this trend line, right? So and then we would have to continue with the way up. So that's why I see a bit of the tendency, possible it will try to go down, but it's very hard to say. Honestly, it is very hard to say. Nobody will ever tell you. That's why I don't go for dollar CAD. I'm just waiting for it a little bit more, but the levels are all the same, and then we will see if the open market on Monday again where it's going to consolidate and where possibly place the orders. But right now we are still in the same area. So now we're going to gold. Okay, so here we go. Here we were, and we started to have a consolidation, so I could give you this area, and it was a long until the Thursday. You see gold was sitting in this kind of bit of triangle. So I was waiting for a little bit longer, sitting with getting closer into this narrow area, but obviously in my, and I was placing the orders after all in my screenshots and suggestions. And I was telling you that if the market will go up somewhere and at least will go in the middle, You see, this is what it did slowly, and just before the American session, I would have placed the orders buy and sell finally, right? So I didn't want to do it anyway here because it was too wide. Like as I was saying, we needed narrower. We needed more narrow, because the more narrower, with the recovery, if you will get the loss, it would be easier to recover the loss and come out with a profit. So that's why in here we had a good profit, a good movement. And again, like I'm saying, with minimum, I was using the EA. With the minimum, I had 20 pips. But like I was suggesting, if you go, you take your 10 pips, close half positions, and place your stop in the safe area. Which, like I'm saying, for example, if you have movements like this, we have about 20 plus spread. So you can place the stop after you are in a profit, either into that entry area. So this is which we will take only 10 pips, and then let's continue another 10 pips. But here you see, if you got into the other option you could do, if you go in there and you move the stop behind the price, so you see if it would have turned around, you would have, so you are kind of using what you made, right? You made some 10 plus pips, right? And so if it will go turn around here, so you will lose that 10 plus pips, but pretty much you lost nothing, zero. But you give a little bit more space for pair, because you see what happens very often is the pair jumps up and then correct a bit, pullbacks, right? So it pullbacks, and it can like pull back more than 10 pips, and afterwards it will continue the same way. So that's why, like some of you saying that I'm only go for 10 pips. No, I'm not only going for 10 pips, because I don't watch it and I don't follow it. Then I'm just placing my orders and I walk away. Wherever it makes 10 pips, it might make without pullbacks, continue the way up and make me 50 pips, right, or more, or maybe just 10, just turn around. But if you're actually watching it and you have time, you can move it. Like I'm saying to you, just see if it's like where it is, move it just behind, not too close, collect your first 10 pips and move it in a safe position, right? And then just when you see the market moves, you can move slowly your stop behind it and collect much more pips. That's it. That's how you do it. It's pretty much straightforward. And pretty much when you see my levels, what I draw those levels for, because there would be some target for us. They could be resistance, they could be support levels, right? And target areas. So as you can see here, it was pretty much a possible target area, and this is exactly what it did. It stopped here again. So, and I was waiting for some consolidation. You see it jumped down a bit. So it was no trade today. And now I'm waiting for consolidation again in this area. Okay, so we will see if it will start, because what I do, I just look what happened previously, and I see in this area we already had some consolidations before, good move up and a good move down. So of course here might be consolidation and a move up continue. Obviously, if you had trade wars, gold will rise, because everybody wants to invest in some gold, silver, or yen, but not in dollar, because you don't know what's going to happen with these things, and everybody's just talking about it. So that's why we need an entry point. So if you didn't go somewhere around here, and if you've been stopped out with profit already, right, because you see it pulled back quite a lot, you would have come out now waiting for another possible entry point. So that's pretty much it. Looking at this first. If not here, we'll see, maybe it will go back down here. So I'm not removing it. You never know, it might go in the same area, or it will continue, and then we will see at any other levels where it's going to stop. So that's pretty much it for gold. Euro pound. So here we go with euro pound. We started with here, and of course again big movement, right? Expecting correction at any moment. So we had some, that was one of the entry points. So we had a positive, if you go for it, there was a plus in here, one of the trades, and then it's continued the way down, way up. So this is where I was placing my orders. But look, when I was giving you the areas here, you can see when the market, that's what I'm trying to show, I had my area somewhere around here. So that was one of the trades. So I'm showing you a little bit where I had my, at this moment, losing trade, lost trade, and recovery. So obviously I wouldn't go for it, but because I have my EA, some new settings, I'm trying to check it. So I'm trying to take not every single trade, but pretty much every trade, which I was telling you about, all those trades I was trying to take. Okay, and so this one here, it's walked away. You see, during Asian session it walked away, so we had the area here. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. If the market walks away from those highlighted areas and doesn't give you, it could have consolidated on the top, but it didn't. You see, it just started to continue the way up. So that's why you don't go for any trades, you don't place any trades. Okay, so it's especially for my members who is watching when I'm showing the screenshots. If it's come out, don't go for it. So in here, I decided still to place the orders and leave them. Okay, and I had a sell order, which also is, like I'm saying, euro pound, the same as pound, yen, and gold, are very risky to trade, especially gold, because they have wider spreads. And then some unexpected movements happens, there's slippages and even wider. So here I didn't even have my 20 pips in. You can see that win, and it probably was a big spread, so it took me into this bad trade. And now I'm going to see how it's going to recover. I hope it's not going to consolidate all the way too long, just like dollar CAD. So, because like I'm saying, when it start to consolidate too long with stops, it's not as good as trading without stops, but we will see. Okay, I will tell you afterwards what's going to happen. You actually saw me previously, I had a trade on Australian dollar on real account, and it recovered quite well. But now with different settings, and I'm trying to do it on a demo account, showing you results. So I will show you afterwards when it's going to be done. And anyway, with my expert advisor, I want to little have an announcement for those who actually walked through so long. The first 25 or maybe 30 members at Patreon who will join at this moment is $37 only. After this week, I want to test it a little bit more, but I wouldn't be able, obviously, to test every single thing on it, but I want to make sure at least it works. And from in June, right at the beginning of June, so it's going to be a week after this, I will give you guys the EA. And you can use it as long as you keep this membership, right? So I would want you to try it on demo account so you can check and see how it works. I haven't even wrote instructions yet because there's so many other different settings. I don't know if you want to have it or not. You can give me the feedbacks afterwards. Because so that would be only for the first 30 subscribers. Because after that, with all the feedbacks, we will see how it works well. Not, I'm going to increase the price. Okay, so then it's going to be more expensive. I will increase it maybe up to $47 or $57 per membership if you want to receive it with signals, or maybe I will make it like $10-20, probably $20. You see, it's not my EA exactly. I need to talk with the programmer, so he would want to decide. It probably would be $20 to rent it if you don't want any signals, just or screenshots, just to use the EA. So that's a little bit of the news. So sign up as fast as you can, guys, if you want to go and have it with right now a $37 only subscription. Like I'm saying, it's pretty much nothing. It's 160 pips this week. Even with the losing trade, it's 100 pips. If you trade it wherever $1 pip, you made $100. Okay, if you trade it with 10, you made $1,000. Well, if you traded less, you made, I don't know, half a pip, not 0.5, you made $50. Okay, so you already made this subscription. So that's what I'm saying right now. What I see in here is that, you see, I was given another area, so we had, you see, nothing in here. It moved up, but not too far, and went down. I told you don't sell from this level, because I don't see it from this level this day, because we were close to that, and I see it could have ended up as a double top or triple top or just consolidating here, and I saw a possible sell here today, but it haven't happened. Okay, so now I see, like I'm saying, it might have consolidation, a very big consolidation, or wherever around this area, then maybe it will go down a little bit and a bit of the channel, and it will be possible to see and place the orders. Of course, right now at this moment I would be more considering to sell, pending orders for sale, because it's been in a very long uptrend. Okay, but because this week euro can a little bit recover, pound can a little bit recover, except like I'm saying with pound, I think a bit more of the maybe it will be a bit more in the channel or something. Ups and downs could possibly be before they actually will be chosen the prime minister. We'll see. So that's why this also could be the same, just have a consolidation. But right now, looking at this area, and we will see what's going to happen next. At this moment, I don't see any entry points. So now we're going to pound yen, and here we go with pound yen also. I had a bit of like a triangle I was pointing out. It had an unexpected move, so I didn't catch this movement, but I had a really clear movement around here, and this is where we made our profit on that movement down. And also that area still from my previous screenshot, and we had a buy order here and come out with another profit. So that's pretty much easy was with pound yen. And now the same, I'm just waiting for this movement. We will see where it's going to go. Either go back and consolidate more here, or maybe it will go back up to this area and we'll start consolidation in there, because as you can see, obviously on the bigger picture, we are waiting for some correction, right? So we need a correction, and if technically everything is all right, it will go and correct itself. If there will be some news again, of course, it can continue the way down, but at this moment we'll just wait for anything to get into this possible entry points, because right now we're just in the middle of nowhere, let's say it that way. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, join the membership, and for daily screenshots. And also we have signals from another trader, Oleg, and soon it will be available line trader also for you guys to try it and use it. So happy trading, and bye everyone.